All right. I am now watching your stream. Okay. But how did you yeah, but since you said you're working on marking up your charts, how did you go about it? Like what was your first step? Like did you go from the high to the lower time frame? Like where were you looking at? Like can you explain to me each line in box? Because I don't even know what I'm looking at. I know kind of like why you mark certain areas, but I wanna see. It's all good. Okay, so erase your chart really quick and just mark up from like what you see. I just want to watch you a little bit. Like just mark up like explain to me like whenever you mark a level or do something, explain to me why you're doing it as well and what do you see. Okay. Okay, so that's all your markups. So what makes each one of those purple lines valid? Like what why did you make that second bottom line or purple line like why is that level valid but not the one at the very bottom, the bottom of that very last candlestick? Like what makes that one super different? What would be a correction? Yeah. I'm just trying to see like how you view the charts so I can be inside your head. Okay. What about your support and resistance? Like where is that located at the chart we're looking at? Yeah, just from what we're looking at, like where would your support and resistance be? N- That's not. There's no wrong or right answer. I'm just trying to see how you view it. yeah, a bunch of rejections, whether that's bearish or bullish, pretty much. Why is that purple line at where it's currently at? Like, why is that a? You said that's a swing high. Why is that considered a swing high to you? No, no, the upper one. Okay, looking, that would be more valid to be honest than that one. And looking left to right, what do you see about the charts? NAS 100. Like, what does it look like it's doing? Looking from left to right, like the overall trend, like the overall trend. Like, what does it look like it's doing, and what does it look like it's forming? Okay, nice. That's I just that is actually a better level that you marked, like where you currently just marked those two things. Those are more solid, and in the middle, I'll just use that as like a seriously probably just like a no trade zone. But those like the levels you marked like that you just did, though that looks a lot better than what you originally had. Like it makes a little bit more sense. That first line, I'm not sure. I will have to actually go to Nasdaq to see how I would generally mark that because it's not a hard chart to mark. But I do know I've been looking at Nasdaq on a higher time frame, like the daily. But your levels right now, those aren't wrong at all. What they're currently at, because it is a breakout of that level, and then that first purple line that's at the very top. If you look slightly to the left, there's like maybe there's a lot of rejections, selling and buying in that area. So that area, I would have marked that as a support and resistance level, whichever one you want to, like, yeah, I would have put something like that. Yeah. And then instead of having lines that run all, if we looking left to right, we see it's making lower lows and lower highs, right? So yeah, I would remove that first purple line. All right, and I'll just basically mark up that previous lower high to the left, to like the very left of your support. I'll mark that, but I won't mark it as a line that goes all the way across. I will use your first trend, yeah, that first one, yep, and I'll mark it, and I go. You got to hold shift to keep it straight. Yeah. Yeah, I won't mark it all the way across there, but I will have it like that's a level that price. Yeah, I'll have it like where you currently have it. I'll have it like okay, that's where price most likely is going to go to before it shows maybe a rejection or above the level or anything like that. Because this looking like something I could like be a day trader or scalp on, not necessarily swing. You know what I mean? And then we want to see price right now is on a indication right now. And since right now, well, if we're looking left to right, it created lower lows, lower highs, lower lows, lower highs, right? We see that on the, and then automatically created bullish structure. Right now, it created a small lower low and lower high after that first bullish candle at the very bottom. But now it broke out of that range, and now we're looking to see some type of structure on the way up. Like, is it truly a reversal since it just gave an indication? Like now we need a correction and a continuation. Now we need a higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low. So what's coming next? Even if it goes all the way to that yellow line, irregardless, looking from left to right or looking for what we know about market structure, price has to do some type of correction back into that green box that you have. Some type of, not even a correction, like let's say fuck ICC, let's say all strategy aside, higher highs and higher lows, just simple market structure and fundamentals in general. It has to create some type of higher low nets. And that I'm guaranteed that higher low is going to be right there in that green box area. And if it goes all the way up into that all not all time high, but your yellow line, looking at history repeat itself, last time it was below or even tapped that line, it sold off. So we can still be patient, see what price does in accordance once price get to that yellow line. Now, if price closes above that line, now we'll be looking for, now, but price before it just goes, yeah, exactly. I would have marked that line too, that high as well. So now I know if price breaks that yellow line, now I'm looking for buys to continue going up to there. You feel me? But price ain't a price is not just gonna go all the way up there without creating structure. It's gonna create some type of higher highs, higher lows, higher highs, higher lows. Right now, you see what I mean? It's just there. It's just bullish right now. It's not it can do whatever it wants to do. Like I'm not saying it's impossible for price just to go all the way up. You know what I mean? But it rarely happens. Not rare, as in like it's like 30% of the time. Like price is gonna create some type of structure on the way up. Even if you don't see it on a 4 hour, you may see it on a 1 hour. Now drop down to the 1 hour. Okay, boom. Like I said, so basically, low key, we already missed the move because now you see how price got to that green area. It broke out. It gave a correction and it gave a continuation. Time frame correlation is like one of my I feel like is the most important video I've ever dropped. I don't care about entries. I don't care about like time frame correlation, and also I know people asking for a risk management video, but but you see what I mean. You see how that's like an indication, correction, continuation. Like on the 4 hour, you're not gonna see it because it's just one thick candle. It's one 4 hour candle. You see what I mean? You're just not gonna see it. So that's how you also get your entries as well. And Price did exactly what I thought it was gonna do, but it already did it on the 1 hour. So, and I know what people, you may have questions like, oh, I remember you in a previous mentorship talk, you said they all have to line up with each other. That is true. That is very true. But what type of trader are you? Like, you see what I mean? So if I was to day trade and be in and out, or let's say I'm a day trader, right? Or I'm scalping, or I'm just in and out in the same day, or maybe 2, 3, 4 hours, right? I don't really care if price goes all the way up to the yellow line, or the second yellow line at the very, very top. Like, you know what I mean? I took a position. Price is gonna smack that yellow line. Like, I don't really need to necessarily wait for the 4 hour because I'm not swinging this. I'm not holding this for more than a day. I'm only holding this for a couple hours. I'm a day trader. Like, I don't need it to hold all the way out to the second yellow line or anything like that. My position played out on the 1 hour, so I took the position on the 1 hour, and I'm in profit. You will be in profit because I'm a day trader. I'm in and out in a single day. I'm in and out in a couple hours. If you seen this as a day trade, then you're correct. Like, you know what I mean. You had that ICC indication correction, higher highs, higher lows. Like you did well. You straight. But if you're looking at it as a swing trader, that's when all of the time frames low key has to add up for stronger momentum to keep going in that direction. You see what I mean? It just depends on what type of trader you are. Like, I'm a swing trader, so I have to literally sometimes. To be honest, I would have still took this position if I was actually trading or I looked at it. But the only thing I would be wary of is the overall trend. The overall trend is still selling. And what I mean by that, I'm gonna share my screen really quick. Mm, all right, can you see my charts? Okay. So, and what I mean by this, let me remove drawings. I'm gonna make a video on this. I milked this. I made I made almost $100,000 off this trade alone. I took this trade almost a whole month, not even a month ago. When was this? This was June 26th. Yeah, that's almost a month ago. Yeah. And I was trying to tell these NAS and these NQ traders, I was like, if you look at the daily time frame, you like this is what's good about being swing. If you're looking at the daily time frame with a trained eye, me personally, I can see a high in the market, I can see a low in the market. After that, I can obviously see price did not break this all-time high. It went under the all-time high. So boom, this is a lower high, right? Price did not break all-time highs. I can see that here. It did not break all-time highs. Then what price did was created a lower high, a lower low, and then created another lower high that was lower than this lower high, indicating what? Higher highs, higher lows, lower lows, lower. That's how it works. A lower high cannot be higher than its previous lower high if it's on a downtrend. A higher high cannot be lower or higher than it's like that's just how it works. Like if this lower high was higher than this one, that it would have looked weird. I mean, this one would have been low. This all time high would have been here. This one would have been low, and this one would have been high. It would have looked weird. You're like, what is going on? But see how all these get lower. So you have lower high, lower lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high. This lower high is lower than this lower high. This lower high right here is lower than this first lower high. This fourth lower high over here is lower than this third lower high. This fifth lower high is lower than this fourth, and like see how that works. This sixth lower high right here is lower than this one. This one, like see how it just gradually get lower and lower and lower. There's not just a lower and lower high. There's just high, just higher than this previous. That doesn't make sense. That just literally doesn't make sense. So as I'm looking at Nasdaq, on the daily time frame, because if I look at it for the 4 hour, I can obviously see my positions. Like I can obviously see where I can get in and out, yada yada yada, cool, whatever. But I said, what is the overall trend? The overall trend was selling the entire since for the, like last month. The overall trend was selling because I said, hold on. I said on the daily is lower lows, lower highs, lower lows, lower highs, lower lows, lower highs, lower lows, lower high, lower lows, a low. Like so, I was like, why would I be looking for buy positions if I'm swinging? You see what I mean? You remember I told you I was like, depending on what type of trader you are, yes, if we drop down to the 4 hour and the 1 hour, I could have got a position in for buys at the level we just did X, Y, and Z. Cool, in and out. But I'm not. I wouldn't. That's why time frame is correlation is so important because when we talked about the other meeting, you know, I was like, they all have to line up. I was mainly speaking on if you wanted to swing or you want to hold it longer than a day, it all has to line up for that overall movement. You can't because you're not just in and out. Like you can trade, you can be a day trader, you can be a scalp trader. If you just in and out, you don't really care what the actual overall trend is in general. Like you do care, but it's not that important. You know what I mean? Because if I'm looking for your position that we would have took, just it would have just been here, and I was to target here, I mean, that wouldn't be wrong. To be honest, that wouldn't be wrong because that's probably just a correction. That wouldn't be wrong. But why would I be looking for it to? Why would I be looking for it to like just buy all the way back up and higher, high, high, low, higher, higher, high, low, higher, higher, high, low? When I know on the higher time frame, it has to do a lot. It has to break that. Like it has to do so much just for it to do that. You see what I'm talking about? It has to do a little. It has to do extra shit. Just plain and simple. It has to do a lot of extra stuff. But that's what I seen. So I knew the overall trend on NAS was selling irregardless unless it broke its lower lows and lower highs. Because we can obviously just see that. We can see it plain as day. You see how you can see it? You can see it plain as day. Boom. Then it broke out. It created a low. Ooh, let's do this. Because this is exactly how I had it marked up. It's not multiple rejections on the daily, but you're gonna see why I marked it up like this. Because on the other time frames, it's way more transparent. At this level, it's multiple rejections. You see this? And this being all the way over. You see the bottom right? It says always since almost May, almost April. There's been a nice level of rejections or big movement. The last once price was in this great area in April, this great support, resistance, whatever you want to call it. Once it got into this area, it made great movement to the upside. Once it got into this area again, it made great movement to the upside. Once it got into this area again, it made movement to the upside. But once it got under the level, now this is the indication. It's never been below this level. It's literally never been below this level of selling ever. But every single time it went up and came back down to test this gray area, it made big moves to the upside. So I was like, okay, this is a strong level if I'm looking left to right. And I know what you're saying, like, oh, I thought you said IKEA. I thought you cheats don't look from no longer than a week. If I'm holding a trade for a month, like how I held this Nasdaq trade to make close to what was it, like 870, 871,000 or something like that, I need to look a little bit further. Like, you know what I mean? Because I'm holding it longer. But on the daily, it showed me everything here. So like just naturally what I'm actually looking at is like I kind of like I have to look like because I can't control this. This is all the way in May. I'm literally looking at these are each represent days. Like, you know what I mean? I can't control that unless I drop down to the lower time frames. Like that's just what I'm saying. And as I mark that level, you can see it now. Indication correction. Until price breaks this lower high right here, I still believe I don't care if it goes all like price could go all the way up here if it just doesn't close above this and it can just go down because you know why? When it goes down, guess what? The next lower low and lower high crate is going to be lower than this one. Like that's just what I'm getting at. You know what I mean? So if I mark it up like this, it's obvious to see like, okay, I know NASDAQ is going to continue selling down. Or I would hope NASDAQ continues selling down because it can go all the way up and just start creating structure up. I don't really care. Like I'm gonna be prepared for it. But you see how that works. But if we drop down to the 4 hour, even the level that you marked, if I was just scalping or just getting in and out the trade and I was just only looking at this, I'll say, okay, just like how you marked, you did everything correct. Have a high in the market, you have a low in the market. Boom. Then you have a nice little multiple rejections here, a little nice little key level that I would like to target. So it'll be here. This was a nice little, I forgot what people call this. This was a nice little area that you marked that you could have took a position. Now you missed this position. Your next position, you just have to wait to get into this area, this line right here. You see what I mean? Like we're cooling at this. That's where we want to see like an indication correction and it builds structure up. Then it's gonna break this indication correction continuation, high 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 low, and then if we go down back to the daily, what this will give us, it'll be a break of this daily lower high, meaning it'll be indicated it's a bullish movement. But you would have already been in a position from where you marked up from here. So you still would have been chilling. You know what I mean? But you're in and out. So you already made your money from here to here. You know what I mean? You're good. Or price, what price could do, two things price could do. What I just told you, price, since price already gave you an indication, correction, and continuation, price could get back in right here and completely just sell off and continue its downtrend that was already originally on. And you go back to the daily, guess what? That was its, watch this. That gray area I marked. That was its what? Indication that was its continuation back to this. You see what that black line is that I marked on the 4 hour right here? And it's ironic that it's back in that gray area that we marked earlier, this gray box. And if we're looking on the daily, this is clearly indication, correction, and we're just waiting for the continuation to the downside. You see how that works? See how all of it lined up? See how the daily lined up with my 4 hour and stuff like that? And you see how that works? Like it's just not just me guessing or anything like that. Like I know exactly why I was looking at it like this and what I'm seeing now currently. Like see how it all like lines up and making sense. Like I'm just not drawing random lines or boxes just to draw. I know a reason why I did that. Like this black line, we drew it. Why? Because when it was on the 4 hour and the daily, this was the next level. This was the next lower high that it created, and it had a rejection here. Now, if I go to the daily, it makes sense. It looks that it's in this area of rejection, and here's a wick as well. Like it just makes sense. Like it's all starting to line up. You see what I mean? So I'm like, okay, cool. I would love to see what it does here. You know what I mean? So I'm more confident, like, irregardless of what it wants to do. Like it can buy, it can sell. But that's pretty much how I seen it as you was marking it up, because this is my first time actually looking at it from like just breaking it down like this. Like because I've been in this trade for a long that sale for a long time. So I really ain't been looking at it until it does something that tell me to get out of sales. So this was the first time I actually looked at it in real time, like where it's currently at and breaking it down. But if I was just swinging or not swinging, if I was just scalping or day and I just wanted to get in a position for buys, I would have got here, here, boom. If I want to get in for sales and I'm a day trader, I will wait till it to get back into this level and I'll target down here. I'll wait for it to get here to see if it rejects. Indication correction, wait for the same thing, lower lows, lower high, and I'll target down here, in and out, in and out. See what I mean? So I know how to scalp. I know how to day trade. I just generally just rather not. Honestly, is really realistically just my schedule. Because if I could be on the charts like every day, the only time realistically I'd be on the charts every day, because not really every day. It's mainly because of you guys, like me teaching you guys and stuff like that, like looking at the charts you guys are looking at, making videos and stuff like that. That's pretty much where that comes from. But you see how that all makes sense? Because I literally just took your markings and ran with your markings. And even when you was marking up your chart and I told you to drop down from the 4 to 1 hour, you're like, dang, that was literally ICC. Dang, that made sense. That literally aligns up perfectly. And all I did was take your same markings and then I marked up on the daily of what I was seeing, and it lined up together and why it would do certain things. Like if it sells off, we know why, because it's at that level. If it buys, we know why. It all lined up properly. Neat. I look. I feel like I'm a great teacher, man. I feel like I'm a great teacher. Like I can make the most complex things sound easy, but as long as you understand, that's more important. Oh, I even see Nitra in here. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome in, welcome in. She just been lurking. I think her mic is muted. Is there like any, like when you marking up charts? Is there? I'm actually gonna show you a chart. I want to show you a chart if I can find it. this is literally the chart. Me and my girlfriend was marking up. I'm actually teaching my girlfriend how to trade now and how to train her eye to see the charts. So what I'm gonna do is share my screen again, and you tell me where to mark up based off what you're seeing because I wanna train your eye. I don't want to show you an easy ass chart where you can obviously see. You know what I mean? I want to like because realistically, my videos, I'm not gonna lie, my videos, I literally go all the way back and I find different areas on the chart where it looks easy for people to understand how I trade so people can like, that just makes sense. So it's not as complicated. Like if I was to make a video right now, I would obviously put it in replay mode. I'll erase all of this. You won't see none of this. And I'll be like, okay, you have a high in the market, you have a low in the market, you have this, you have that. It'll be easy. You know what I mean? But realistically, when it comes to trading, this will be your normal yeah, it'll be yeah, those are like A plus setups where it just looks so clean, so easy. You know what I mean? Like, whoa. You're like, okay, this is literally begging me to like make money. Like at this point, it's like basically paying money in my pocket. Looking at this chart, AUD USD, right? It looks very hard to the like to understand what is going on. Because when I was helping my girlfriend yesterday, I was like, "You're brand new. I don't suspect you to know what we're looking at or know what you're doing, but this I want you to go to AUD USD and go to the daily time frame, and I want you to share your screen. I want you to mark it up before I mark it up. AUD USD. Yeah, Australian versus USD dollar or United States dollar. Mm-hmm. And share your screen, and I just want to see you mark up. Because this is it's a hard like share your screen. It's a hard chart to mark up, and that's the point. Like I don't really want to baby you guys because realistically, it's going to be hard to look at the charts. Like not hard to look at the charts, but every chart ain't going to be the cleanest thing you ever seen. Like obviously is a high, obviously a low, multiple rejections here, buy above here, sell below. It's not going to be that clean every single time. And I don't want you to guys because this is recorded. I don't want you guys to misconstrue that with forcing a setup or forcing a trade. I don't. Some charts look so ass to the point you guys been on two. You see my other two recordings when I was marking up like how I marked up on a Sunday or something like my Sunday when I mark up for the week. You'll see I'm like, yeah, this shit's ass, and I just move on to the next one. Like I don't force it either. If something like it's genuinely hard to mark up and it's like, yo, this like I feel like I'm forcing it rather than I'm actually seeing actual levels and actual areas and stuff like that, then I just bounce. Like I just go to another one. So I don't want you guys to get that misconstrued. It's showing a black screen. Yep. I don't suspect you to get it right, but try your best. All right. What about your support? So I do got some homework for you particular after this call. Where would your support and resistance be where multiple rejections are? Like you don't even have, yeah. Drag it all the way over to where current price is. Correct. You actually marked it up exactly how I would mark it up. That's pretty good. You see how now price, like once everything comes into one, like now it's more clear. Like now you can see like okay, below here, like it looks more clear. Like now above that gray box is like is building structure up. Like it will most likely right now it looks like it's in the indication phase right now. You know what I mean? Now what you want to do? Now we're gonna work on breaking it down with time frame correlation. Like now go to like the 4 hour. You want to make sure your levels are actually accurate as you drop down. Like it's still applicable on all the time frames. Like it's not just on one. Like it makes sense. Like go to the 4 hour. All right. Now zoom out a little bit. See now that makes see how that makes sense now? It's all them rejections, like it's above this level, like it makes sense. Like that is good. Now you can continue dropping all the way you can continue dropping all the way down to the 1 hour if you want to. Nah, I don't move it because all the other time frames gotta catch up to where that's on that 4 hour. Like that's just how it works. Yep, I'll go through all my time frames just to make sure it's still the same thing, even if it's just more candlesticks. Yeah, and then I'll drop down all the way to like the 5 minutes to try to get an entry. Like if I was looking for an entry, like go down to the 5 minute. If the 5 minute looks clean, if not, I'll just drop down to like maybe the 10 or something. Like zoom in where price is currently at. Now, what most people, since this has been, we've been on call for like an hour, they would have said, okay, so it on the 15, I mean, on the 5 minute, it showed the indication, correction, and continuation. That is true. So if you're scalping, you would have been in profit right now. But price did not go anywhere after breaking out. If we go back to the 4 hour daily, we see price didn't go anywhere. Like price is just sitting there. So if I was scalping, I was in and out in 5 to 10 minutes, I would have made money. You know what I mean? Indication correction and bring your cursor to where it closed above the green box again to the left. Right after that, you see the indication correction on the left side. And you see, yep, exactly where you just had your mouse at. To the right a little. To the right. Once price, do a long position with the like the little bar, the long position, the buy position. With the drawing. You see where it says L? Yeah. And put it right there. So what we know about like move it over slightly to the left. Yes. So if we looking at it from ICC and market structure and what price is doing, if I was scalping or I was supposed to be in and out, it gave an indication, it gave a correction, and then it reclosed above this level. So I would enter exactly where that candlestick is if I was gonna be in and out, and my target would have obviously been that high that's on the left that it just created. The indication would have been my all-time TP. So if I was scalping, yes, that would have been my all-time TP. Now it smacked my TP. Now, irregardless of what it does after that, it doesn't matter. I was in and out. I made my money for the day. You see how that works? Your first TP should, when you trade ICC, I dead ass need to make a whole new video on this because people kind of got to mix, like when it comes to entries and stuff like that. Your first TP will always be the indication. Always will always be the indication because price can go back to that indication and do whatever the fuck it wants to do. Price, your first TP should always be the indication. You see how the first the indication that it created, it went to the indication now it's just consolidating. Your first TP should always be your indication. I don't care what happens on your second, third, your all your other TPs should be at key levels. It should be at higher highs, higher lows, lower highs anyway. But that very first TP should always be the indication. Because worst case scenario, at least went back to your indication and at least you make a little bit of money. You see what I and at least you won't be like, oh, ICC didn't work. No, it worked. It created indication correction and it continued and it went back to this low or its high that it just left. That is simple ICC. Whether it goes to your 1 to 4 or your third or fourth TP is irrelevant. You see what I'm talking about? That's just money left on the table. That's just extra money on the table. You see what I mean? You see how I'm looking at it like if I was a scalper. You see how I look at it if I was a swing trader. You see how I look at it if I was a day trader. Like you see how like even though I don't trade certain stuff, I know how to trade it. That's why I know how to teach it because I've done it before. It just the more you gonna get there. I promise you. And it's not a amount of like if you decide if you want to be a swing trader because sometimes like I said, I don't get in a charge and be like, oh, I'm gonna swing. Like no, it just sometimes my position just plays out in a week, 2 days. Sometimes that shit just plays out in minutes. Like it just depends on what it is. Like I just never go to the chart already taking an identity because that's just weird. I just take what the market gives me. Like that's just what it is. But if all right, so watch this. Move your at the top of that long position at the very top. Drag it all the way to the top. Don't drag the whole. No. Go back. Don't drag the whole position. You see where it's like a square at the left of it. Just drag it all the way up on your screen. Like you don't even have to see the rest. Just drag it all the way up. Okay, cool. Now go back to the 4 hour. I mean the daily. Go back to the daily. Wait, my apologies. My apologies. Go right back to that time frame you was just on. The 5 minute. Mark up that indication level. You see where it created indication? Mark it up with the line that goes across. I'm finna show you something. Yep. Make it go all the way across because this is gonna be a great example. Yeah, you're good. Now go back to the daily. Now zoom out. Okay, you you don't have to go to the 4 hour and zoom in a little bit. Zoom in like okay, you see your loan position? Okay, you see that second yellow line. Drag it all the way over to where price is currently at. That second yellow line. Drag it all the way over to where price is currently at. Oh, you grabbing the screen. Yes, I gotta grab it. You grabbing the screen. It's okay. Click the cursor. Like click the cursor. Click the cursor at the top right. All right. Now zoom in. You see your loan position? You see how it says a little bit it shows a little bit of green? Like zoom in, just zoom in on it. Just zoom all the way in on it. You don't have to do it with the right bar. Yeah, the right side. Now move your loan position all the way to that yellow line. Yeah, you know what I told you diagonally? Move it all the way to that second. Yep. Now zoom all the way. Now go to the daily. Now go to the daily. Shit. All right, stay on the 4 hour because you're gonna keep having to adjust it. Just stay on the 4 hour. Now zoom out just slightly, just like a pinch. All right, so boom. This is important. Okay. So how do you know? Since I'm gonna answer your question and a lot of people questions, like how do you know if a trade is gonna turn to a swing trade? I already took that first yellow line that we had. We was on the five. What was we was on an hour or 5 minute or something like that. That was our first TP. That was from the indication. You see what I'm talking about? So I'm not closing my position on there. I need to leave at least 25% of my position still running or 50% of my or something still running just in case it keeps going. Now, if price continue going up and it hits my second TP, then guess what? I still am in from my original trade, but I already took profits and took all risk off the table from my original position. I didn't put in a new position. So I technically don't no matter how long price takes when it hits my second TP, it could be a week. But I'm still in that trade from originally from what I did the indication correction on the 5 minute time frame. So I took a scalp and I rolled it all the way out because that's what the price did. Like that's I don't know until price does it. You see what I mean? I take partials and I leave the rest running. You see what I mean? So I already took my profits. Worst case scenario, I still make money. I don't lose a trade. Like if it goes back to my entry point, then guess what? I already went break even. And I already took 50% profit. I already took 75% profit. So I have the other 25 running to my TP2, my TP3, my TP4. So that's just money on the table. I'm just playing with it at that point. So now I'll be like, dang, I held this trade for freaking like, I don't know, a week. I took a day trade and took it to a swing trade. I took a scalp and took it to a day that led on because it kept going up to it passed my second TP. Then it passed. Then it started hit my third TP and my mat and it's about to hit my fourth TP. Like you see what I'm talking about? You see how like I don't just go into it as like identifying as something. I just let price do what it wants to do. You see what I mean? You see how let's say price go to our second TP. You already had a position in from down there when you took your original trade. Price just rolled your other 25, your other 30, 35, whatever how much left you took profits off, your other 50% of your position all the way to TP2. And don't regardless of how long it takes to hit TP2, it could take a day, it could take 2 days, a week. That means that trade was a swing trade. Overall, that trade was a swing trade. That entire position played out in a week. But you were already good from your original, like your original first TP, because that's our first yellow line. You see what I'm talking about? Does that make sense? Now you just now there's just profits and money on the table. Like that's just extra money at this point. So that's not does that make sense? Like I'm just not going, but like, oh yeah, this is a swing trade, or this is I don't know. Like price literally have to does it, and most people ask me as well, like, how do you know when to get out of a swing position? If we're looking at right now for buys, if prices continue to make higher highs and higher lows, I do not give a single rat's ass. If price is news to show one scary selling candle, I don't care. If it continues creating structure, higher highs and higher lows, I will hold that position for weeks and months. And that's why I was showing on Nasdaq and NQ earlier on this call. You remember? I was like, hey, since last month on June 26th, it just consistently started creating lower lows and higher. It didn't give me any reason to get out of it. It has to create a higher high and a higher low for me to be like, all right, let me close my position. Even if my position was a month ago, I'm still will close. I'll take my entire position off. But if it doesn't do that, I'm like, okay, why am I getting out of this trade? There's more money to be made. I'm gonna milk this trade until the very end. Until if we looking at an uptrend right now, and it continue to create higher highs and higher lows, and it goes to your other yellow line, your third yellow line, and it don't create no lower lows and lower highs, then what are you gonna do? Are you gonna be like, I'm just gonna get out? No, you're gonna be like, I'm gonna milk this shit until it shows a lower low and a lower high, and it starts forming structure on the downside. You be like, okay, now it's time to get out because now it's a reversal happening. You see what I'm talking about? Now it's time to get out. You still watching on you technically watching on all your time frames, but to keep you watching it, once you already took your profits from what you originally did, anything else, you set alerts. You set alert exactly at that second TP. You set alert exactly at your third TP. You set alert because that allows you to just get away from the charge. Be like, okay, if I hear an alert, I know hit my second TP. So you like then you would check the chart, be like, oh, price is at my second TP. What is it doing at my second TP? Oh, it's still creating higher highs and higher lows. Okay, cool. I'm gonna go on by my day. You see what I'm talking about? And obviously you will have alerts for the downside. Like I would have alerts for if it's below that green box, be like, okay, that means my position got completely wiped out, but I still took profits from my first TP. I'm still good. Like I lost no money. But prices now for me to start to go down. Like that's just what I look at. I have alerts so I don't stare at the charts all day. I don't look at the charts unless it's in my alerts because why am I looking at the charts if it's not in an area that I'm even interested in? If it's and then once I hit my second TP, I'm taking more profit off the table. I'll leave the rest 10% go to three. I don't care. Like that's how you do it. That's exactly how you do it. That's correct. That's correct. Yeah. This recording will be in the past meeting recordings if you want to watch it back because it was just mano a mano, me and you tonight. Usually be a lot more people in here. I know you. Not sure if you was on the last one, but yeah, usually be a lot more people in here. But like this is so your homework. Honestly, for this week, I thought I sent out in the school community. I have like a playbook that I go by. Like before, when I mark up the charts, I know it's a checklist that I have. It's like check, okay, mark the highs and lows, check, mark this, check, search for this, check. So it keeps me disciplined. So I know once all my check marks are done, I know my charting should be complete. My marking up should be complete. And I'm pretty sure I shared it in the school community for the membership, the private one. Yeah, that should be in like resources or something like that. But I have my trading journal, I have my playbook and stuff like that. But your homework is to make a playbook for like you're gonna see how I have my playbook set up. It's really nice. Like what do I do when I'm in a trade? What I do when I'm like it's you have to document certain stuff like that. Like it's very important to have a playbook and a journal. Your homework would be to have a trading playbook from just when you're looking at the charts and all that stuff. You're gonna see mine, you know, get inspiration from it. You're gonna know exactly what I'm talking about. And also be just don't I wouldn't even take any trades. I would take fake trades. You see how you took that long position and it went here, blah, blah, blah. I would just see how price plays out after I'm done with my trading playbook and I mark up my own charts. Just see if price actually does what I like marked up and stuff like that. So you be like, okay, it's a pattern. This is pattern recognition at this point. Now all the trades that play out, I want you to screenshot them on your computer and save them in a folder. And you're gonna save them in a folder for a reason because that's gonna go into your trading journal. So a trading journal is important because you're gonna look at your trading journal and be like, y'all think I'm playing. Hold on. Don't worry. I'm about to share my screen. Trading journals are very important because let me show you. Let me go back to it. No, it's not stop sharing. All right. Let me show you something about my trading journal. The reason I told you to screenshot, 90%, 98% of traders don't do this, and this is why they're not profitable. And I'm not even joking. I'm teaching my girlfriend. She's like, why the fuck are people not doing this? Are they retarded? I say, babe, chill. But yes, but literally, not in a mean way because this is scientifically proven. Irregardless if it's trading, business, relationships, life in general, what doesn't get measured or documented, this is not my wisdom. This is just in general. What doesn't get measured and documented does not improve. If you are not, if you are trying to work on your personal development, if you do not document, you do not regulate, you don't have self, if you don't analyze yourself, aka document yourself, like, hey, I was impulsive today. I'm working on patience, blah, blah, blah. How would you improve it? You're not focused on it. It's not documented. It's not what you're aware of. What doesn't get documented and it just doesn't improve. That's just how it works in life. Like, irregardless if it's dealing with trading, dealing with business, if you drop shipping, you selling clothes, and if you a business owner, you're not worried about funds going in and out and stuff like that, or where my money could be distributed, where we can run ads, where we can do this, and you're not documenting. Okay, we're spending way over margin. Our margin space 34%. If it's not documented, how would it get improved? If you're spending so much money, you want to start saving money, and you work a regular 9 to 5 job at McDonald's, then guess what? If you want to save, you have to document, where's my money going out? I eat out every day. Oh, I like drinking. Okay, you document it now. This is why you start saving more, because you document it. What doesn't get documented, it doesn't get checked, does not improve. This is not even about just trading or money in general. This is life. That's why I have to give you 2 examples. So, because when people hear this recording, they're going to know. Like, this shit is not just about fucking trading and money. This is about life in general. What doesn't get documented or it doesn't improve. It's literally almost retarded. Literally. So you see how I have entry models, right? The reason I told you to screenshot, boom. If I go to entry models, look at this shit. I know you never seen some shit like this before. Literally. I broke my shit down. Look how clean this looks. Meaning, if I go to the charts right now and I see anything that, if I mark up my charts, after I'm done marking up my charts, if I see anything that remotely even look like my entry type 1, you see how all these look the same? Higher high, I mean lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, indication correction. You see how all these look the same? If I even see anything remotely even look the same as these, guess what I'm gonna be like, okay, I'm confident in my position because I've seen this pattern recognition play out so many times. I am confident. I'll take this trade 10 out of 10 times. If I go to type 2, you see what I mean? Like, it doesn't matter. You see what I'm talking about? It doesn't matter. Like, that's why it's important to screenshot and just, I'm gonna do this later as well. Like, just go back. I'm like, okay, why did this trade play out, or why did price do this? Let me just go here. Okay, boom. Price created low, price broke out. Boom, here's a level. What price did? Price created an indication, a correction, and continue. Boom, here's a high in the market. I mean, here's a lower low in the market. Here's a high in the market here. Like, this is off the top of the dome. But let's say I mark it up like this, right? What I'm currently, you see my charts? You see what I'm currently doing? This is off the top of the dome. I did not, you literally on this call, I literally just scrolled all over and just peeped a random ass area. Boom. A random ass area. This is in real time. Boom. So if I'm doing this right here, this was the only thing that I've seen. Don't even worry about it. I got replay mode. Start new, select bar. If I did this right here and I had, boom, and I only seen this at the time, and I took this trade, boom, guess what this looks like in my playbook? Just guess what this looks like in my playbook. Oh, don't worry about it. Oh, snap. Oh, this looks familiar. Pattern recognition. I will take this trade 10 out of 10 times. Indication, correction, continuation. Indication, correction, continuation. Here's the low. Here's the indication. My first TP would have been this indication, meaning I would have been profitable from here, and then I would have been profitable once price got to this low. Anything else after this is clean profit to the downside. Irregardless, I do not care. Doesn't this chart look exactly like how any of these screenshots? Why? Because I document my stuff. So why wouldn't I, if I'm looking at it in real time, I see this playing out, right? I only see this. I see price forming something like this. Why wouldn't I feel confident to take this trade if this entire screenshot or this entire chart I'm looking at looks something that I'm used to seeing and document and watch it play out time after time after time? Why wouldn't I take the trade? Why wouldn't I? Pattern recognition. History, one of the oldest quotes in the world. History repeats itself. If it doesn't repeat itself, it rhymes. You see how I just pulled a random ass area on Australian USD. AUD is a random ass area. This was not pre-recorded. This is not nothing. This is live. And you would witness this shit. A random area. And I just randomly marked it up. And it looked like one of my type of entries. You see what I'm talking about? This is how trading goes, because I've documented. I have so many different types of entries. You see my type 1, I have type 2, I got type 3, I got type 4, and I got type 5. I have 5 different entry models just so I'm not caught off guard. I'm not prepared. I'm like, oh, boom. I've seen this before. I'm comfortable. I've seen this before. I'll take this trade 10 out of 10. I took 10 screenshots of the charts, different charts throughout different times that look exactly like this. I've done this before. I'm confident. If it doesn't play out, cool. I just that 10% out, that 10% chance of me losing, cool. I was just on the bad end of the stick. But guess what? If this setup shows 10 more times, guess what? I will take it 10 more times, irregardless if I just lost this trade. You know why? I am confident in pattern recognition because all the times I have seen it, it has played out in a very few times. And that's how you get your percentages as well. When I say, oh, I have a 88 win% chance or win rate, or I have a 71% win rate when it comes to selling versus I have a 91% win rate when I'm buying a position. I don't get these numbers pulling out my ass for a reason. I know just document all my trades. I know I'm a better buyer than I'm a seller. I know no, actually is actually reverse actually, by the way. But I'm a better seller than I'm a better buyer. Like I know this stuff. Like, you know why? Because I document everything. I screenshot everything. I'm like, dang, this particular setup, type one setup, this setup right here, type one, I know this shit has a 87, 86 win rate. Every single time I see an indication, correction, continuation on the downside, and it looks something similar to this. All these charts don't look the same, but it looks the same, if that makes sense. You see what I'm talking about? Like it overall looks the same. I'm a dead ass screenshot this right now and throw that in the type one. Literally. You see what I'm talking about? That's just how it works. So I'm like, I'm gonna take this trade every single time because I know every single time the charts did this particular type one setup, I will win 80% of the time. And if I lose, fuck the 20%. I will still take it. That's like somebody saying, hey, press this red or blue button right now. You will win $1 million. But guess what? Out of these 10 times you press it, 2 times you're gonna lose all your money. You have to start over from zero. You ain't gonna give a fuck. You're like, okay, that's 80%. So 8 times out of 10, I'm gonna win this trade. I'm confident in my position of 80%. You see how all this like correlates with each other. Like I don't just have blind confidence because oh look I made money. No, I have confidence because I document my shit. I have real life data. I'm not just pulling shit out my ass. I'm not making shit up just to sound cool and be a mentor and sell you a fucking course. I don't know. I have real life. Like that's why I had to show you. I have a trading journal. I don't tell people to just trade journal just for. I have a playbook. Like hold on, the playbook should be here. I don't. Man, this is gonna be pre-recorded. The playbook should be. Where is it? Don't worry, I'm gonna find this little fucker. Where is it? Is it trading here? It's somewhere. Download trading tools, trading checklist. Rules I don't break. No trades on Sunday and Friday evenings. Be satisfied with profits. Don't FOMO. Before trading, what do? Check news folders. Identify the higher time. Identify the overall market's trend on the higher time frames. Identify my buys. Mark up previous highs and lows and support and resistance and no trade zones. Check to see the higher time frames align with the trend. Any candle closers that I need to wait for any break or a retest. Mark my pre TP, my stop loss. Correct lot size. Back test my setup. Check my emotional state and my mind state. Entry criteria. I'm not in news. Prices at a support or key level of range. Lower lows and lower highs are forming. Higher highs and highs. Broke previous higher highs and higher lows. Correct lot size. Ask, does this trade has a positive winning probability if I took it 100 times? Yes. Enter. After price corrected itself, rebreaks. Basically, this is ICC just broken out in vocabulary way. After I enter a trade, confidence, patience in my position, get off the charts. No FOMO. There's always money to be made every single day. You can leave some money on the table. Don't be greedy. Risk management, trailing my stops. That means when I say break even, parcels, win or lose, I will improve and learn. Stay true to my playbook. As long as I stay true to this, if I lose a trade, I don't give a fuck. I had a winning day. I stayed disciplined. I did everything I could. I did this. I did my checklist. I just lost this. Somehow I took a sell position here and it just went all the way back up here and I fucking lost. Oh well, that is a losing trading day, but that was a winning day as a trader. Does that make sense? You stay disciplined to the things that you need to be stay disciplined to. You did everything you could and you just lost. The market maybe Trump tweeted. Who fucking knows? You did everything you could. The market can do whatever the fuck it wants to, but I know with pattern recognition, If I lose a trade and I did everything I could, that's how I don't take losses personal. Because if I lose a trade, I'm like, okay, cool. Like, fucking ET had to fly out the fucking sky. I'm cool with that. Like literally. But yeah, I'm gonna save this recording and I'm definitely gonna drop this like in the next 30 minutes. To be honest, I'm gonna have it posted. No problem. But this was a great call. Everything ties up to it with each other. It's starting to make sense to click to you, is it? Right. And you see that you do not remark ICC all over again. You just have to see ICC on the other time frames. You have to see the alignment. If it's on the indication, you have to see the indication on the other time. You're not remarking. You only mark on your higher time frames and you scale down to see if your markings are aligned. Once it's aligned, you waiting for the same thing. You're not remarking anything. You feel me? That's correct. But all right, this has been a long hour. But thank you guys for joining. The next one will be, it's always 2 days, so it's Tuesday, Wednesday. I'm gonna do Sunday. I mean, it's in the school community. It's a timer thing at the top that says live. It should be Sunday because at least yeah, it's gonna be definitely Sunday. Yeah, it's always Sunday, Tuesday, and Thursdays. Yeah. Yeah, it's gonna be Sunday because that's gonna be the end of the trading week, and I want to see how every one of these charts plays out and stuff like that. And I'll see. I will definitely check up with you. I gave you homework. Mark up your charts. Use the long and sell position, screenshot. Like even if you have to go all the way back on a chart through time just to see your setup, just to see like your type one, type two entry. Like you literally have to do that. That's what I did. Like just I didn't just take a trade, lose a trade, and okay, let me document it. Yes, I did that too. But I also look back in history to see like what would look like my setup. What will do this? What would like what looks like type two setup? Oh, this looked like type two. Did it play out? Yes, it did. Did it not play out? No, it didn't. Why didn't it play out? Boom. Let me check and see if it was news this day. Let me go all the way back on the news .com. Oh, it was news. Some random shit happens. Cool. Like that's just usually what you just got to do. Just always. That's just pretty much your homework. Mark up your chart, screenshot, trading playbook, and a trading journal. Because when I do, I swear to God, I cannot stress this enough. I be saying trade journal, check, and people just like, yeah, that's just boring shit, and yeah, it's not gonna matter. You see why I'm such a good trader now because you see how well I document my shit and why I document everything. And I know you haven't seen any videos on people doing shit like this because it's not out there. It's only make money, entries, this, and this. Like strategy, my strategy. Like, no. This is the boring side of trading when you treat it like a business because it's a business, not a side hustle, not a little get rich quick scheme, not a little gig, side gig. This is a business. You need to know as much information as possible to be successful in trading. You need to see the pattern recognitions. You need to feel confident. That's another reason why people don't feel confident in their position. They're like, yeah, I see your markups, but I didn't take the trade that you took because I just like, how did you just was so confident just to hold your trade out? And how did you just so confident? Like, it's all this makes sense now. You see what I mean? Now you know the back end of my stuff, like my journal, my checklist, like what I look like. Now it makes sense. Like, okay, why my confidence like this? Win or lose, it just makes sense. I've seen this shit. I've done this shit. I've documented. But but yeah, I'll catch you guys on Sunday. Y'all be safe. Y'all walk with truth. Y'all walk with power. And may God favor you. Okay? And y'all have a great night.